Places and things in California. Last summer, I flew around California with my amigo. On Lunes, we saw the Golden Gate Bridge. This bridge is one of the longest bridges in the world. It is 2 miles long and 4,200 feet above the San Francisco Bay. On Viernes, we flew over Hollywood. The city of Hollywood has lots of stuff to see, like the Hollywood sign, Universal Studios, and Grauman's Chinese Theater. On Domingo, we flew over Disneyland. This park was the first Walt Disney theme park to open. You can see Main Street, Cinderella's Castle, and Mickey's Toontown. California is the place to go.
Here in Connecticut. My flight in Connecticut was great. On Domingo, I started my flight and visited the Mark Twain house. It was buen tiempo. This house was the home of Mark Twain. He was a famous author. Then, on Jueves, I soared and landed near the First Church of Christ. It was frio that day. This church served American slaves before they returned to Africa. Finally, it was Sabado, and I flew over the Nautilus submarine. It was the first nuclear-powered submarine and crossed the North Pole. I had an amazing time flying over Connecticut.
Soaring over Arizona is awesome. On Lunes, I soared over the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is a huge canyon. I swooped down with my amiga into Slide Rock State Park Lake on Miraculous. We said, hey, let's go swimming. Slide Rock was made a park in 1985. Then on Viernes, I landed on the Mary Jane Cutler buildings. These buildings were made in the early 20th century. My adventure in Arizona was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I am going back in time to the winter at Valley Forge. I am next to George Washington on the horse at Valley Forge. I can't believe I slipped back in time.
I'm back in time watching Washington crossing the Delaware. George Washington was smart to attack the Hessians, but why did he have to do it in the middle of winter? I am in the boat with George Washington.
I slipped back in time to see Washington cross the Delaware. I'm with Molly Pitcher and she is shooting the cannon. Molly Pitcher was a very brave woman.
I am traveling to winter at Valley Forge. I have landed in the woods of Valley Forge. Baron von Steuben is asking General Washington to see if he can train the troops.
I'm off to see the Declaration of Independence. I'm at Independence Hall watching Thomas Jefferson sign the Declaration of Independence. Freedom!
I'm off to see Paul Revere's ride. I'm here in the streets of Boston watching Paul Revere. There's Paul Revere. Watch out, the British are coming.
The British, I can hear him say, the British were coming. The British were coming.
The object of this project was to create a documentary explaining how volcanoes affect the people that live near them.
We got started in our science documentary project by first watching documentary on how volcanoes form and the dangers that they present when they become active. This showed us what a documentary was. Then we researched many different volcanoes to see which one we wanted to focus on.
We each had to decide what to put in our script.
We had to cite our sources using MLA citation. MLA is an acronym for the Modern Language Association for acknowledging the source of research. We have learned the style of citation in class, in the library, and in computer class through the use of Citation Maker. We used the computers in the classroom, found books in the library, and used the computers in the lab. We also did some research at home to create our script and storyboard.
Once we had our research done, we brought it in with our MLA citation. We had to share the tools we would be using to produce the documentary.
In the 8th grade, we did a science project on volcanoes. We were required to pick a volcano, do research on the volcano, and make a documentary about it. After we finished the written aspect of this project, we went down to the computer lab, and I heard things like,
Mrs. Olani, may I please use the drawing tablet?
Can I too?
Yeah!
Can I use the scanner?
Can I too? Instead of drawing a picture on paper and then scanning it to a computer, I asked about using the drawing tablet. The drawing tablet allows me to draw a picture straight to the computer while using many techniques of lines, shapes, and colors. I was able to draw a picture of Pele, the fire goddess, that looked much more bright and exciting than drawing on regular paper. It helped my group science project look more bold and interesting.
I was using the drawing tablet to draw a picture of Pele, the fire goddess of Hawaii. I also drew a picture of Kaleu, a volcano that me and my friends did a project on. The drawing tablet really helped improve the project.
Our group was one of the many groups that used a scanner. Someone in our group drew a picture, and another person scanned it into a digital format that we can use in our multimedia project.
Editing my video was an important step. I wanted to make sure it was great. I made sure the timing was perfect, the music was in the right place, my voice could be heard, and the pictures flowed smoothly.
Some of us came to the lab and asked Mrs. Orlani if we could use the animation software to create an animated volcano for our documentary. We learned how to use the program Fireworks last year. We were excited to use this in our project.
I created a working volcano animation in Fireworks for my documentary. We imported it into Movie Maker. All the groups used Movie Maker or PhotoStory to produce the documentaries, which are both free programs that we were able to access from home. For our science project, we used the microphone to narrate our drawings.
My group recently did a volcano project. We took turns finding pictures and narrating them. It was a lot of fun using the microphone, surfing the web, and learning more about volcanoes.
We collaborated as a group and used Citation Maker for MLA citation and other technological skills we have learned in computer class over the years.
Some of the groups made their own music. I played the guitar for our music in the ending credits for our volcano project video.
When I was working on my volcano project, I recorded the song that I made with Katie Moore. I used this for the background sound in my movie. I sang the song that I wrote for my movie.
If we use music from the internet, we needed to cite the source, but then, due to copyright, we couldn't publish our documentary on the internet with someone else's music. By recording our own music, we could put our documentary on the website without running the risk of breaking any copyright laws.
Our group worked together to put the finishing touches on our volcano project.
Many groups made videos, as did we. We made a clay model of our volcano and dropped Mentos into a bottle of Coke, which is inside the model.
The 8th grade watched the documentaries to obtain information needed to have a full understanding of not only the volcano itself, but how volcanoes have an impact on our ever-changing landscape and lifestyle. The 6th grade watched our documentaries prior to learning about the parts of the volcano. They found 3 facts from each documentary and shared those facts with one another in science class.
Using technology allowed us to bring more life to our information and show firsthand the visuals that many of us need to fully comprehend topics like volcanoes. They now reside on our own website to share with others.
Mount Fuji is located in Japan, just west of Tokyo. If you are lucky enough to be in Japan, you can see Mount Fuji from Tokyo on a clear day. Many years ago, Mount Fuji erupted flows of lava that alternated with explosive eruptions of cinders, bombs, and ash. This produces a stratovolcano, or composite volcano. Mount Fuji stands at 12,387 feet above sea level. This volcano is a very beautiful place, perfect for sightseeing. While Mount Fuji is astoundingly beautiful, it can be very dangerous when it erupts. Fortunately for the people in Japan, Mount Fuji hasn't erupted since 1708 and is now dormant. Since the year 781 AD, Fuji has erupted 16 times. While most of the eruptions were of moderate size, long-lasting damage was caused. Erupting from a vent on the southeast side of the volcano, ash and bombs spewed out in the years 1707 and 1708. This eruption was the most recent. Despite the terrifying nature of the volcano's eruption, no fatalities occurred during the 5 major eruptions of Mount Fuji. Worshipped by much of the Japanese population, Senjen-sama is the goddess of Mount Fuji and cherry blossoms. Said to reside on the top of Mount Fuji, there are many myths surrounding her.